My favorite author is Charles Bukowski because he writes the sweetest poetry and I love how he uses very conversational language.
My favorite author is David Sedaris, and it's because he's able to find humor in everyday happenstance, good or bad, and it always brings a smile to my face whenever I read it.
My favorite author is John Steinbeck because he writes big books about American life that I think get at an essential commonality of all of us.
My favorite author is David Mitchell. He wrote Cloud Atlas. He writes in a lot of really good voices that differ from chapter to chapter.
My favorite author is Ruth Ozeki because I love the way that she blends magical realism with history.
I love David R. Hawkins' work. His work is like Power versus Force. Actually, I read Letting Go first. I read that twice. That was an amazing book. Then I read Power versus Force, and I'm on his second book now. And apparently reading the books raises your consciousness. He's calibrated how much truth is in each book, and the more you read his books, the more enlightened you become, apparently.
My favorite author is John Steinbeck. I found his writing to be very inspirational at a very young age. The Grapes of Wrath, and specifically, I loved that book when I read it in high school, and just found it very uplifting and very motivating.
My favourite author is a gentleman called Geoffrey Wellham, who was a fighter pilot in the Battle of Britain in the Second World War.
The many authors I've read from, I think Marcus Aurelius would be the most important one because at the time he was an emperor, and his book Meditations wasn't intended to be his diary, but it got published and it became one of the biggest works in Stoic philosophy.
My favorite author is Ellen Hilderbrand, and because she writes the perfect summer beach escape, and me and my mom both read the books together, and it's a lot of fun.